Hey everybody, James Rattlesnake Defense. I want to talk to you about a couple things that I was sent to test and what I think about them and blah, 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 blah. Stand by. All right, so this is my raggedy ass shadow systems that I use to kind of test everything. So, you know, it's my answer to a Glock. I have two interesting products on here. Now, you should know as a gun tuber, I get sent a lot of products, a lot of demos, things like that. A lot of them I talk about, some of them I don't. But I do test them. I'm a big believer, just like the Turkish shotguns, just like some of the other stuff. If you guys watch me, you know, I'm not going to judge something just because it's not a name brand. Look, most of the flashlights and stuff are coming out of China anyway. Okay, even the name brand stuff. Some of the stuff's pretty good. Just because it's not surefire or not loophole doesn't mean that it doesn't hold its weight. You know, we got to make room for new companies and try not to be as judgmental about some of these things as possible. So that being said, I've tried to keep an open mind. I got two things on here. I have a Nitecore light on the bottom, and I have a Cyelee. This is a wolf. Oh my gosh, I'm blind. Red dot. And these two products have actually performed very well. Again, I was sent these products to review. This is not something I probably wouldn't have bought either one of these for the same reasons that you might not have bought them. But to be very blunt, both of them have held up very well, vastly exceeding my expectations. And you have to understand, anything on this gun gets abused completely. That's its purpose. This gun's purpose in my arsenal is I like to abuse it. I don't know, good on shadow systems for putting up with it. This optic, once I zeroed it in, it's heavy. One thing about it is heavy. It's pretty big. It's dense. It is water resistant. I can attest to that. It's got a pretty big field of view, pretty wide window. You know, it's got your shake awake, and it's got your adjustments, and it's got all the stuff that all the other red dots for handguns have. I'm not going to go on and on about the features. The main thing I wanted to know was, does it work? And yes, actually, it's a nice clear dot. It absolutely has stayed on. I've put it through some abuse just to see. I wish now that I'd recorded all that abuse, because I honestly did not expect it to hold up as well as it did, and it has. I've seen these online. They're not super cheap, but it's a really rugged optic that I haven't had any issues with. Let me get some more ammo. All right, so what you have to understand is a design like this with a suppressor, essentially this gun was never meant to be fired like this. So you get a lot of blowback on the optic. Now, I hope this comes through really well on the camera, but as you can see, I have completely fouled up this here. All right, let's see if I can get you to look through it. It's completely fogged because it's covered now in carbon from the blowback from this. I could take my shirt, I could wipe it off, and it's fine. And I've been doing that repeatedly without any issues whatsoever. So again, due credit, this thing's been tough. I got no complaints whatsoever. It performed very, very good. And again, I was mean to it. The other thing is this Nitecore flashlight. I have a really strange opinion on flashlights, tactical lights. I know you can see all these reviews online. Everybody goes on and on about them. But this is a really good idea. I hate having to take my flashlight on and off to change the batteries. They actually put a, let me find the button here, battery pack in the flashlight that you could just pop off. I could check and see the charge level by pushing a button. I could plug it in and charge it. When I'm done, I could just slide it right back on without having to take the flashlight off. And something I think is really stupid, and I'm guilty as this is too, is all of us are still using some of the old Streamlights and the TLRs with their 123s, and they're expensive. And why are you not using rechargeable? It makes more sense. I've had this for a while. I've shot the piss out of it. I've abused it also. It is bright. I could do the whole nighttime flashlight thing, but you can make the camera settings to make it look as bright or as unbright as you want. You know, it's plenty bright enough for everyday use. You know, if you're special forces and you're dropping into Ecuador, sure, you can justify having a $300 or $400 or $500 flashlight. But for most of us, for something that's in the glove box or sitting on the dresser, this would be perfectly fine. I got no beef with it whatsoever. It's got all the modes. You can do all the stuff and things. It's just, it's got a touch. You just press it on and off. But a really interesting mounting system too. It kind of slides on and then snaps on. But the main thing is, you know, all that's irrelevant. That's what I like. A battery pack. I can charge it with one of my solar generators or in the vehicle or whatever, out in the field. Snap it back on, ready to go, super fast. If you had a couple of these batteries, you could just swap them out, have one on charge. I don't see anything wrong with it. And again, that's Nitecore. This is the NPL27. I don't know why. I know that, like, I have the Streamlight that has the rechargeable batteries. That's literally just a 123 that you put a USB-C in, and that seems kind of silly. Having a battery pack in a flashlight these days is, I don't know. I mean, it makes a lot more sense. And again, it's rugged. I've abused it. I've thrown it around. I've kicked it, and it hasn't given me any sass whatsoever. So I think for your average person, this would be fine to use. Let me know. I mean, you know, just two interesting products that I was sent that I was actually impressed with. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I'm missing the point on the flashlights and the red dots. I mean, if you want to spend a fortune on it, you can. If you want to put a Trigicon on your Glock or something like that, that's fine. You can do that. But not every gun is worthy of an optic that costs more than the gun. Sometimes you just want something that just works. It doesn't have to be fancy. And these products, despite my misgivings, work fine. No issues whatsoever. So thank you for watching. I'll put some links to the products, these specific products, once I get home and look them up in the description if you're interested. Thank you.